What if I told you, right now at this exact moment, you have the power to make a man regret ever letting you go? I'm not talking about games, I'm not talking about begging, chasing, or trying harder. I'm talking about a kind of power that most women never discover. The kind that leaves a man awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering how he let you slip through his fingers. And here's the truth, it's easier than you think, if you know what to do. In this video, I'm going to reveal something no one else will tell you. The exact behaviors, mindset, and invisible triggers that make a man feel your absence so deeply, he can't find peace. And once you understand this, you won't need to chase or convince anyone of your worth, because your energy will do it for you. The silent kind of power that lingers in his mind long after you've gone quiet. Imagine this, he's out with friends, laughing, drinking, pretending he's moved on. But in those quiet moments when no one's watching, it's you he thinks about, your smile, your silence, your strength, and he can't shake the feeling that no one else measures up. Not because you did more or gave more or tried harder, but because you became the one thing he can't replace. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you today. The secrets that flip the dynamic, where you stop wondering if he misses you and he starts wondering why he ever thought he could let you go. The small shifts that make him feel the weight of losing you without you lifting a finger. So here's my promise. Stay with me. Every minute of this video will pull back the curtain on what truly makes you unforgettable. What makes him regret? What makes him chase? And by the end, you won't just be watching, you'll be living it. Let's begin. Here's the truth that most women never hear. It's not what you do that makes a man obsessed with you, it's what you believe about yourself. The mindset you hold shapes every word, every glance, every silent moment between you and him. And they pick up on that energy, even when you think you're hiding it. If your mindset says, I need him to choose me, he feels that. But when your mindset quietly declares, I choose myself first, always, that's what makes him unable to stop thinking about you. You see, obsession doesn't come from you trying harder. It doesn't come from bending over backwards, overgiving, or proving how amazing you are. That only makes him comfortable, not obsessed. Obsession happens when a man senses that you are fulfilled, whole and powerful, with or without him. That you're a woman who walks through the world with purpose. A woman who values herself so deeply that his presence in your life is a privilege, not a requirement. Picture this. You're not checking your phone every few minutes, waiting for him to text. You're not adjusting yourself to fit his mood or his attention. Instead, you're focused on you, your goals, your joy, your growth. And suddenly, he's the one leaning in, wondering where you are, craving your time, trying to figure out how to earn space in your world. Because the mindset that makes him obsessed is the mindset that doesn't need him, but welcomes him, if he rises to meet your standards. Here's where most women slip. They give away their power too soon. They tie their worth to his approval, to his attention, to whether he's choosing. But when your mindset is solid, when you know deep down that you are the prize, everything shifts. You become the mystery he wants to solve, the rare energy he can't quite figure out but can't stop wanting. And it's not about pretending. It's not about faking confidence. It's about truly believing it. Because when you believe it, it shows in your tone, in your posture, in the way you don't rush to reply, in the way you don't overshare, in the way you protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. So if you want him obsessed, stop focusing on him. Shift your mindset inward. The moment you do, everything you used to chase will start chasing you. And the best part, you won't have to do a thing except stand in your truth. That's when the obsession begins. It's not the loud, dramatic gestures that haunt a man's mind after you're gone. It's the subtle, quiet habits, the ones he didn't notice at first, but can't stop replaying once you're no longer there. These are the little things that echo in his memory that make him compare every woman after you to you. And what's most powerful, these habits aren't about trying to impress him. They're about the energy you naturally radiate when you know your worth. The first habit, the way you listen, and I mean truly listen, not to respond, not to impress, but to see him. When you gave him your full, undivided attention, when your eyes met his and you made him feel like the only man in the room, that's the memory that sticks, because the world rarely gives him that. And once it's gone, once your gaze no longer holds him like that, he'll crave it. He'll miss it in ways he won't even understand. The second habit, the calm confidence you carried when you didn't rush to fill silence. Most people feel uncomfortable in quiet moments, but you let them breathe. You didn't over-explain. You didn't seek validation in every pause. That self-assured stillness stays with him. He'll replay those moments, trying to decode your mystery, wondering what you were thinking, why you didn't need to fill the air with words, and why that felt so magnetic. The third habit, your ability to walk away with grace, not bitterness. When something felt off, you didn't force conversations, cling tighter, or demand answers. You valued your peace enough to choose distance without creating drama. And that's the part that haunts him most, because your absence didn't come with chaos, it came with dignity. And that's what makes him realize what he lost long after you're gone. Then there's the way you celebrated your life, with or without him. You had passions, dreams, joys that didn't depend on him. The glow you had when you talked about what lit you up, that memory will follow him. Every time he sees a spark of life in someone else, he'll search for your light, and he won't find it, because it was uniquely yours. And maybe the most haunting habit of all, you made him feel seen, but never owned. You shared space with him, but never made him your entire world. You gave him the gift of connection, without making him your oxygen. And that balance, that rare magnetic balance, that's what his mind keeps chasing, even when his ego won't admit it. These subtle habits don't shout, they don't beg for attention, but they linger. They whisper in the back of his mind at 2 a.m. They show up when he meets someone new, and feels something missing, and realizes too late, it was you. And the most beautiful part, you don't need to force these habits, you just need to choose you, because when you do, everything about your presence becomes unforgettable, and everything about your absence becomes haunting. Sometimes it's not the grand speeches or romantic declarations that stay with him. It's the simple, powerful words you say in quiet moments, words that seem small at the time, but replay in his mind long after you're gone. The kind of words that hit deeper, because they reveal your confidence, your boundaries, your mystery. And once they're imprinted on his memory, no one else's words seem to compare. One of the most powerful things you can ever say, I trust myself to choose what's right for me. When a man hears this, it shakes him, because it tells him that your decisions aren't based on fear, insecurity, or needing his approval. You trust yourself, and that trust radiates strength. He might not react in the moment, but when he's alone, thinking about you, those words will echo. He'll realize you weren't looking for him to lead your life. You were already leading it. Then there's the quiet impact of, I'm at peace no matter what happens between us. Imagine how rare that is. Most people cling, push, pull, negotiate. But when you say this calmly, sincerely, it leaves him stunned. It tells him you're whole, with or without him. And the moment a man realizes he's not your source of peace, that's when your presence becomes unforgettable. That's when he starts questioning what he meant to you and why he can't stop thinking about you now. Another phrase that lingers, thank you, but no. It sounds so simple, but the strength behind these words leaves an imprint. When you say no kindly, firmly, without drama, it shows you honor yourself. It shows him you have boundaries, and that your yes actually means something. And men remember the women who don't say yes to everything. They remember the ones who weren't afraid to walk away from what didn't serve them. And here's one more that haunts him. I hope you find what you're looking for. No anger, no bitterness, just genuine release. These words tell him you're not stuck, that you've let go. And that's what makes him hold on in his mind. Because the woman who can walk away with grace, she's the one who stays burned into his memory. The one he'll measure others against and come up short every time. What makes these words powerful isn't just what you say, it's how you say them, from a place of inner calm, strength, and truth. No need to shout, no need to convince, just quiet certainty. And that's what leaves the deepest mark. Because when he remembers you, it won't be the arguments or the noise, it'll be these moments. The moments when your words revealed that you didn't need him to complete you, that you were already complete. And that is what lingers long after you're gone. It's easy to think that making a man long for you requires constant tension, big gestures, or carefully planned moves. But in reality, what haunts his heart and mind are the small natural moments, the ones that seem effortless, but leave a lasting impact. Let's talk about real-life examples that trigger his longing, often when he least expects it. Picture this, he's out with friends in a crowded room full of laughter and noise. But in the middle of it all, he notices a woman quietly reading at a corner table, completely absorbed in her own world. And it hits him, that's what he felt around you. The ease, the calm, the way you could light up a space without trying to be the loudest or the center of attention. That memory floods back, and suddenly, no one in that room compares. He longs for the peace and confidence you carried so naturally. Or imagine this, He's scrolling through his feed, seeing endless selfies and attention-seeking posts. And then he pauses on a memory, a photo of you that wasn't perfect, wasn't staged. Maybe you were laughing at something no one else noticed, or lost in thought, unaware the moment was captured. And he remembers, you weren't trying to impress. You were just you, authentic, real. And that image stays burned in his mind, because it wasn't meant to prove anything, but it proved everything. Here's another powerful trigger. He hears a song. Maybe it's the one that played on a random night you spent together. Maybe it's a song you once hummed absent-mindedly while cooking, or on a long drive. And in that instant, he's back there in that moment with you. The scent of your hair, the way you smiled when you didn't think he was looking, the way time seemed to slow down around you. And he longs for it because no one else has brought that same feeling since. And then there are the places. He walks into a coffee shop, a park, a street corner, anywhere you once stood beside him. And he feels that emptiness, that quiet reminder that something's missing. Because it's not the place that mattered. It was the energy you brought to it. And now, without you, even the most familiar places feel hollow. The most haunting part of all, these triggers come when he thinks he's moved on, when he believes he's fine. And that's when longing hits the hardest, when it surprises him, sneaks up in the middle of his ordinary day, and reminds him that you were anything but ordinary. You see, it's not about playing games or forcing memories into his life. It's about how you showed up fully, authentically, confidently. That's what creates these real-life triggers. That's what makes him long for you, even when he tries not to. And the most powerful thing, you don't have to do a thing now, just live your life. Those moments you shared, those glimpses of your light, they're already haunting him, and they always will. If you truly want to stay in a man's mind forever, here's the truth most never tell you. It's not about controlling him, chasing him, or endlessly proving your worth. It's about becoming the woman who knows she's unforgettable, because of how she carries herself, not because of how she tries to cling to his thoughts. When you master this, you won't just cross his mind, you'll live there, quietly, powerfully, and without effort. So how do you do that? The first key is emotional self-sufficiency. A man never forgets the woman who could stand tall with or without him. When you stop looking to him to complete your happiness, to fill your empty spaces, or to validate your worth, he feels it, and that absence of need becomes magnetic. The woman who doesn't chase validation becomes the woman he can't stop thinking about, because every other woman might seek his approval. But you were whole from the start. That's rare. And what's rare is what stays in his mind. Next, mystery over exposure. You don't have to share every thought, every feeling, every detail of your life. The woman who leaves pieces of herself unexplained, who lets him wonder, she's the one who lingers in his memory. Let him fill in the blank. Let him question what you're thinking, what you're feeling, where your mind drifts when you go silent. That mystery, it's powerful because it keeps him curious, and curiosity keeps you unforgettable. Another tip, the art of graceful detachment. If things shift, if he pulls away, if the energy changes, don't panic, don't force, don't chase. Instead, detach with grace. Let him feel the quiet weight of your absence. Because here's the secret, it's not always your presence that leaves a mark. Sometimes it's your silence, your ability to step back without bitterness, without drama. That leaves a man thinking, that makes him replay every moment, every word, wondering how he lost access to your world. Also focus on creating impact, not attachment. Every interaction you have with him, let it reflect your life, your joy, your peace. Make your moments together feel good, not heavy. Make him associate you with warmth, confidence, and freedom. Because long after you're gone, it's that feeling that stays with him. Not the arguments, not the doubts, but the way you made him feel inspired, calm, alive. That's what he'll search for in others, and that's what he'll fail to find. And here's one more secret most overlook. Have a life so full, so rich, that he becomes part of it, not the center of it. When you're immersed in your passions, your growth, your own joy, he sees it, he feels it, and he longs to be part of that energy. You become the woman who's chasing dreams, not chasing him. And that's the woman who stays in his mind, because she was never dependent on his presence to feel whole. The truth is, staying in a man's mind forever isn't about tricks or tactics. It's about stepping into your highest self. When you live from that place of quiet power, peace, and purpose, You become unforgettable without even trying. And the most beautiful part, you won't need him to think about you, but he will, in the quiet moments, in the loud moments, in the moments in between. And when he does, it won't be because you begged for space in his mind. It'll be because your energy carved that space, all on its own. So as we close, remember, you don't have to chase being unforgettable. Just choose yourself, again and again. That choice, that's what makes you impossible to forget. There comes a moment when the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. When you stop reaching, when you stop explaining, when you stop trying to remind him of what he had. That's when the weight of losing you begins to sink in. Because the truth is, a man doesn't truly feel your absence while you're still trying to prove your value. He feels it when you're no longer available to fill the space he thought he could always return to. Letting him feel the loss doesn't mean bitterness. It doesn't mean coldness. It doesn't mean revenge. It means standing in your worth so completely that your silence becomes louder than any words could ever be. It means trusting that the right man will recognize what he lost, not because you forced him to see it, but because he can't ignore it. Because the light you brought into his life is no longer there to warm him. Imagine this, he reaches for his phone out of habit, ready to send a quick message to you. But this time he stops. He realizes that message won't be answered the way it used to, that you're no longer waiting, that you've moved your focus inward. That realization hits harder than anything you could say, because he begins to understand the chapter where he had access to your heart has quietly closed. And here's what most women don't realize. When you choose to let him feel the loss, you give him the space to face himself, to face the choices he made, the moments he took you for granted, the times he thought you'd always be there. And in that space, in that quiet, regret is born. Not because you pushed him to feel it, but because the loss of a woman who valued herself is one of the deepest regrets a man will ever know. So what does letting him feel the loss look like in real life? It looks like choosing your peace over his confusion. It looks like not responding to mixed signals. It looks like redirecting all that energy you once gave to him back into yourself, your growth, your joy, your future. Because the more you focus on your own light, the more he feels the darkness of losing it. He'll remember the way you listened without judgment, the way you stood by him without losing yourself, the way your presence made even the ordinary feel special. And when those things are gone, when that energy is no longer his to feel, that's when the loss becomes real, and it stays with him in the quiet moments, in the in-between spaces, in the nights when he thinks he's fine, until he's not. Letting him feel the loss is the ultimate expression of your strength. It's the choice to stop chasing, to stop fixing, to stop trying to fill the gaps he created, and instead, to fill your own cup. To build a life so rich, so beautiful, so full of purpose, that he's the one left on the outside looking in. Not because you locked him out, but because he let go of something priceless, and now it's no longer his. So as this video comes to a close, I want you to remember this. You don't have to convince a man of your worth. You don't have to make him see what he lost. You simply have to be the woman who knows what she brings, and who is willing to walk away from anything that doesn't honor it. And in that walking away, in that quiet power, in that graceful distance, that's when he feels the loss. That's when you become unforgettable. And the best part, you won't be waiting for him to feel it, because by then you'll be too busy living a life that makes you feel whole. And that, more than anything, is the real win.